So, in my last BBC, I spoke about the 6 recollections. These are practices that were taught by the Buddha, and they are found both in the Pali and the Sanskrit traditions. And practicing these has an immediate positive effect on the mind. In one Pali Sutra, the Buddha said that by engaging in these recollections, one's mind becomes peaceful, joy arises, and the defilements of the mind are abandoned. And they're also recommended as an antidote to the problem of mental sinking or laxity, which is one of the main obstacles to attaining calm abiding. So it's when the mind has a lack of clarity or vividness in the way that it apprehends its object. So it said that if we do the 6 recollections, this will uplift and energize the mind and make the mind bright, happy, and alert, so that then we can return our mind to the meditation object and have more clarity and vividness. So the first of the 6 recollections is of the Buddha, and it involves contemplating the Buddha's many excellent qualities. So the last time I did a BBC, I explained a few of the Buddha's qualities that are mentioned in this prayer that we often recite before teachings. So this is in our blue prayer book. To the teacher, endowed, transcendent destroyer, one thus gone, foe destroyer, completely and fully awakened one, perfect in knowledge and good conduct, one gone to bliss, knower of the world, supreme guide of beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and humans, to you, the Buddha, endowed transcendent destroyer, glorious conqueror Shakyamuni, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. There's quite a long list of phrases, epithets describing the Buddha's qualities. So this time I'll explain a few more of these qualities. And these can be found in volume 4, Following in the Buddha's Footsteps, starting on page 61, if you want to know more about them. So the first term that comes is teacher. And this is because the Buddha has taught us about the nature of samsara, this very unsatisfactory situation that we are trapped in. And he has also taught nirvana, which is the state of freedom from samsara. And he taught the causes of each of these so that we know what we need to do to become free. We need to create the causes to attain nirvana. So he's shown us how to attain freedom, genuine peace and happiness. And now it's just up to us to follow, to learn and practice his teachings. And as an aside, while I was looking at these qualities and thinking about them, I wondered about compassion. Because for me personally, Buddha's compassion is one of the most inspiring qualities, but it's not specifically mentioned in any of these epithets in that prayer. However, I think it's fine to bring that in when we're doing our own reflection on these qualities. And this is one place where we could bring it in, because the motivation the Buddha has for being a teacher, for teaching us, is compassion. That's the whole reason he's teaching us, is because he sees that we are suffering. He sees the suffering of all living beings throughout samsara, and he has this incredible, great compassion, wanting to free us from suffering. And so he's like completely dedicated, every minute, every second, with compassion to help us, to teach us, to guide us until we've all become free of samsara. So this is one place where we could contemplate the compassion of the Buddha. And the second one I'll mention is endowed, transcendent destroyer. And this is a translation of the Sanskrit term Bhagawan. And so endowed means he's endowed with all good qualities, such as wisdom and compassion. And transcendent means he has gone beyond both samsara, the cycle of suffering and unsatisfactoriness, as well as personal peace, meaning attaining the state of nirvana just for oneself alone. So he's beyond both of those. And then destroyer means he has completely eliminated all suffering and the causes of suffering, especially the afflictive emotions in the mind, and especially ignorance. So his mind is totally free of all those faults. And that's similar. The next term is foe destroyer, and that's a translation of arhat. So an arhat is someone who has completely destroyed or eliminated all the causes of suffering, at least the afflictive emotions, and especially ignorance about the true nature of things. So an arhat is someone whose mind is totally free of all these afflictions, and they will never again have to be born in samsara under the control of karma and afflictions. They're free of all of that. The next phrase says, perfect in knowledge and good conduct. And there's different ways of explaining this. One is that knowledge refers to three higher knowledges. These are knowing his own past lives. Buddha is able to remember all his own past lives when he was in samsara, as in knowing the death and rebirth of all sentient beings. So he can see how sentient beings are born, die, and then take birth under the control of karma and so on. And also knowing the destruction of all the pollutants, all the pollution in the mind, especially ignorance. So Buddha is perfect in those three kinds of knowledges. And then conduct refers to ethical conduct. So Buddha is perfect in ethical conduct. He doesn't do anything faulty, anything harmful, anything unethical. And then another explanation of this phrase is that knowledge refers to the Buddha's wisdom. He knows everything that's beneficial and also everything that's harmful for sentient beings, what's good for us, what's not good for us. And then good conduct refers to his compassion. So here again, we can contemplate the Buddha's compassion, because he guides us away from what is harmful, what's bad for us, and guides us towards what is beneficial for us, especially what will enable us to become liberated and then enlightened. The next phrase is one gone to bliss, which is a translation of the term sugata. We've been hearing a lot about that in the Pramanavartika teachings. The term sugata comes up a lot. So it means gone to bliss. And so he's called this because he has gone along the eightfold path and attained the sublime state. He's gone to the sublime state of nirvana, which is beyond all death, rebirth, and suffering, and so on. And in the Sanskrit tradition, it said that a sugata has two qualities. One is realization of unpolluted wisdom. So his mind sees perfectly clearly all phenomena just as they are. And also complete abandonment of everything that is to be abandoned, all the obscurations. So having a mind that's completely free of all the obscurations means you're always in a state of bliss. So he's attained the state of full awakening and will never fall from that state, never lose that state. And then knower of the world, the next epithet, this can also mean different things. One is he knows all living beings. So each being in the world, in the universe, he knows our individual character, our dispositions, our interests, our abilities. And in that way, the Buddha can teach us according to our abilities and so on. Another meaning is he knows the universe. He knows all the different world systems and all the different characteristics in the different world systems and so on. The next phrase says, supreme guide of beings to be tamed. So we're all beings to be tamed because we all have afflictions in our mind. So he is able to lead all living beings to liberation and enlightenment, including those who have really strong delusions and may have committed very heavy negative karma, like mass murderers, terrorists, and so on. And so here again, we can recall the Buddha's compassion, because he never gives up on anyone. He never sees anyone as a lost cause, as hopeless, no matter how deluded they are, how negative they are. He can see that everyone has Buddha nature. So he's completely dedicated to helping even those difficult beings until they've reached enlightenment. The next one says, teacher of gods and humans. So in fact, the Buddha is teacher for everybody, but it mentions particularly humans and gods or devas because we are the ones who have the most ideal conditions in which to learn and practice the Buddha's teaching. This is very difficult for animals or beings in the lower realms to do. And I remember that next week, 27th of October, we will be observing this day, which is called Labab Duchen in Tibetan. It's the day when the Buddha came back down to this world after spending 3 months in one of the God realms, where he was teaching his mother. His mother took birth there after she died. So he spent 3 months there teaching Dharma to his mother and the other gods and greatly benefiting them. And then finally, it says, to you, the Buddha. So Buddha, the Tibetan term for Buddha is Sangye, part of my name. And Sang has the sense of being purified of everything that is negative. And Gye means fully developed, perfected in everything that is positive, all the good qualities. So I feel fortunate to have that as part of my name. It reminds me what I aspire to become. I'm not anywhere near actualizing that, but I hope to one day. So I think that it can be very meaningful and very beneficial to take even just one of these epithets or qualities and even spend just a few minutes reflecting on it. By doing this, it brightens up our mind, it renews our positive aspirations, and then we'll have more energy to practice and make our lives beneficial for others.